I am joined today in messy bedroom studios with Vertigo Whales, the Chicago native band who have been making splashes on the internet recently and have been a big part of my iPod plays lately. And I happily welcome Dimitri, Marcus, and Matt here today.
Hello.
Hey, thanks.
Hello.
So, how long have you guys been together? As a couple trio, you know.
Has it been? It's been like 4 years. I think 4 years.
4 years.
About 4 years.
2006.
Yeah, give or take.
I don't think many people know this, but the way I found you guys, I don't even think I've told you, Dimitri. I was researching a man by the name of Jay Forrest. If you're not familiar, Jay Forrest.
The guy, the guy Jay Forrest?
The front man for a band called Hopes Fall.
Yeah, I know. He's a friend of ours.
He's a friend of yours. That's amazing because.
Yeah. I was just we did Marks and I did a gig at Bottom Lounge in October, and we hung out with him. He was working the show.
Yeah.
That's awesome because I was checking out his Wikipedia page and I wanted to see if he had any new projects, so I went to his MySpace page and he had featured Vertigo Whales as his top 8 friend.
Awesome.
If people are even familiar with MySpace anymore, top 8 friend.
Right. I remember that.
So I clicked on you guys, and he had left a comment in your on your page saying how much he loved your music, and I was like, okay, if Jay Forrest is into this, I have to check it out.
Wow, so flattering.
Yeah, well, so I downloaded the EP and had it on my playlist for like a really long time. And that was just before I started doing AB Today, and I knew I wanted to get the word out about Vertigo Whales, but at the same time, I didn't want to I wanted to use your music with permission, but it was so hard to get a hold of you, and I was convinced that the band was dead, so I think I sent an email to every single one of you guys to ask if I could use your music, and then it was hopeless, and I thought you guys were gone, and I did it anyway. So I hope you're not mad at me.
You know what, man? It was an amazing moment, actually. There's like a funny story about that. We thought the band was hopeless, too, to be honest. And I think a few months after you found us and you sent us emails...
You checked the MySpace or something,
I randomly checked MySpace, I don't know, I hadn't checked it for half a year at least, and I saw these plays, all these these song plays. I'm like, what happened, you know? Mm. And my girlfriend at the time was like looking on Google and finally traced it down to you, and found that episode, the first episode of the AB Today show, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this guy found us. It's crazy, you know. It was really kind of lit a spark actually to finish that stuff.
Well, I'm so glad you did, and I'm sure a lot of people are glad that you continued making music as well.
We shared that experience over coffee at Denny's.
Yeah,
if I recall.
Yeah.
Nice.
I met Matt at Denny's. I was just like, hey, man. It was like 2 a.m. or something like that, and it's like I got something interesting to show you. 'Cause Matt and I were working on a totally different project at the time, and it was kind of a breath of fresh air. That it was like, oh wow, you know, someone actually appreciated our music and decided to tell somebody about it. And I just kind of played the video for Matt, and it kind of lit a fire under everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you're not upset with me. That's
kind of. I am personally a little bit, but so we can talk about that later off camera.
We'll have another Skype conversation. And
right. After this,
a little public lashing.
Yeah.
So, if you were to explain your music or to someone who's never heard it before, how would you explain it? How would you describe what kind of music you guys play?
It's a fantastic question. Well, it's rock-based. We can start there.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think that after that, I don't know if it really falls into a particular subgenre or not. But I think the influences we have are probably easier to cite than a particular type of music that the band itself falls into, you know?
That's a very popular question I've been getting is who influences Vertigo Whales? Where did the influence and inspiration come from? Everything Connects.
For that song or for the EP?
Oh, for the EP, I should clarify.
That's a tricky question. I think that we could probably list 100 different bands that were equally responsible for the inspiration found on that record. Should we each list some bands?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, please. Give me a good smorgasbord of bands that you guys have been taking inspiration from.
Sure. Radiohead, always. Keen, Muse, Minus the Bear, Appleseed Cast.
Oh, personal favorites.
Explosions in the Sky. I mean, there's just so many different, sides of it too, because those are all like more bands, and then we're also all really influenced by classical composers and things of that nature too. So I think it was kind of like and then Marcus, I mean, you also come at it from like a totally different angle that adds like a certain different spice to the mix.
Yeah, I feel like I was going to say that. I mean, I feel like it's one thing that we have all of the same interests in common with all of the rock music inside of that, but I feel like one thing that's made us get together and push things even further was just our love for urban music and beats and hip-hop and rap and some of the stuff that music and pop music is bringing to the table. I feel like we all pretty much appreciate a good pop song and great beats and stuff like that. So I feel like that's something that we always look to add to all of our music. It's just a feel-good vibe and a good beat, because I feel like that's one thing that's constant.
Yeah, I totally get that from the album. There's a lot of it sounds like experimenting, but at the same time there's definitive hooks in some of the songs, and you can really jam out.
I think the name for the EP and the song, actually, the way it was written, is really poetically really represents itself really well. Besides just like the musical influences that we all share, there was like a more of just a personal / like maybe spiritual connection that we all had, and to the songs. And as we were developing, I think as we kind of threw in our influences, and as we were developing as friends and as musicians, I think we kind of let it roll once in a while too. Even though there was a direction to a song per se, we just kind of let things happen and let people, each individual kind of.
Right, we guided the song as much as we let the song guide us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then when the name of the song was written, I had this like piano progression basically, and it developed into what it is now, the song Everything Connects. And Matt and I sat there in the studio tracking all kinds of stuff, and it had been sitting around for a while, and then I actually wrote the lyrics by just writing a bunch of words for days and days and days, and went back to him about a week later and connected everything that made sense.
Huh.
And the lyrics in that song are just basically random, and I connected them about a week later to a logical Everything Connects, and that's how the song ends. That's more of like.
It's also been a theme within our band and friendships too. That
Yeah,
like it's kind of like it spans a lot more than just that song or just the music. But
it's kind of a message of whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you like it, whether you don't, it happens for a reason, and good things come of it, bad things come of it, but be aware that it's all connected. That's kind of like
Everything Connects.
Everything Connects.
And I also kind of feel like one huge thing is that we all, like me and Matt, grew up playing with each other since, I started playing
10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, we were 11, and we always just experimented and just drums and guitar, and would just come up with this wacky, weird, and Matt was in the math rock a lot when we were younger, and still, obviously, but
To a certain extent.
but just experimenting with a lot of different stuff, and then meeting Dimitri and just his classical style and just his amazing way of composing music and putting stuff together, along with Matt's producing side and everything, like just came together, and it kind of, I think, was a good representation of where we all were as musicians at the time.
For sure.
So with the re-release of the Everything Connects EP, there was a new song on it that wasn't featured on your MySpace page called Glass Kites, which had bit of a different turn than all the other songs, a bit of a post-rock feel. And I was wondering, is that something you guys are interested in dabbling in more, or was that kind of a one-time deal?
I think that that's something that listeners will find, reappearing here and there. I don't know if it's going to be a huge part of any theme, but I think it's a style of music and a kind of direction that we all do enjoy. So we'll probably work it in when it feels right, if it feels right, But there's no definitive plan to move, more in that direction necessarily. That's pretty much where we're at with that.
So with that being said, is there new stuff that you're working on right now for Vertigo Whales?
Mm-hmm.
There is.
We're actually in the studio working on it right now.
Any exciting things you can hint at without revealing too much information?
Well, we could
Full
play
length,
a
more
clip
another
of it.
EP?
Want to hear some of it?
Yeah, we can play a little clip of it.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be a treat.
It's all queued up right here.
There's no.
You were waiting for me to ask that one.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Figured the question
Just in
would
case.
come up. Give me a second here.
Yeah, sure.
There.
Yo, that was amazing. I can't even.
That was so.
We talked a little about you guys working on some new material. Are you guys planning on taking your music on the road?
We are.
You are.
Yes.
Any information about tours you can tell me about?
Nothing definitive right now, but we're hoping for an early 2011 release on the EP and then a tour in support of that shortly after. I mean, we're kind of still sorting that out, but...
Yeah, there's kind of a few places we want to go, and, just there's a lot of business stuff to take care of that we're kind of not ready for yet.
And you guys, you're totally welcome in Canada if you want to come up here.
We would love to go to Canada.
Yeah, we'd love to go to Canada, man.
I've never been to Canada. I've always wanted to go to Canada.
And you guys are in Chicago. You're so close.
We are.
Yeah.
Hey man, I've been up there whenever I go to Detroit, man.
Right.
Right up the tunnel.
Right up the top.
Right up the tunnel. Beeline.
No, I'm gonna have to get you guys hooked up with a venue. I know some people. I said we'd get to some questions from viewers, which I promised I would ask during this interview from about 6 months ago. So, I'm going to ask a question from Horror Pixie Massacre, which is her
Horror
YouTube
Pixie
name.
Massacre?
Or Pixie Massacre.
What's the name
Okay.
of that?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think it's very misleading. Dear Vertigo Whales, how... actually, no, it's quite fitting. How would you survive the zombie apocalypse? Sincerely, Pixie.
That's a fantastic question. I can...
Matt thinks about this all the time, actually.
I do, yeah. There's a game I play with some of my friends, really when we're just bored. And when the game is wherever we're at that time, someone will just say, okay, zombie attack right now. What do you do? Where do you go? Who you try to, meet up with? Get your priorities straight. What kind of weapons are laying around. That being said, it's hard to answer not knowing, where we were when the zombie attack happened.
Right now, during this interview.
Right, during this interview.
Yes.
I'd probably use this guitar that you can't see.
I will be able to see it later.
There it is.
That's a weapon. There we go. There it is.
Yeah.
That's my weapon. And the studio's a pretty secure place, so it'll probably be a good little bunker.
I would lock myself in that vocal booth.
That's exactly.
There's a
right.
vocal booth right over
That's
there.
exactly.
See,
right.
I wouldn't do that because for me, I always need to have a place that's secure, but that I can exit out of a different direction. So for the booth, I feel like I'd be cornered in the booth.
True, good thought.
I would contact my family. That's a big part of it. Try to get them to meet up with me wherever I am, or the other way around. I'm already with some of my best friends, so that's mostly covered.
Wait, and we're ninjas.
And we're ninja assassins, actually. So yeah.
That's
It-
amazing.
Personally, that big of a
I'm
deal.
personally not a ninja, but I would definitely take care of a zombie
Yeah.
if it had.
I'm gonna have to say that would be a pretty amazing album recording. If you could record an album while a zombie attack was happening, while smashing their heads in with guitars, it'd be pretty metal.
It would be metal. That would definitely be metal.
Indeed.
So another question is from Latina Barbie 1707. And I love reading YouTube names. It's so much fun. If you could have anyone do a cover of your songs, living or dead, who would it be, and what song would you like to hear them cover?
I'm gonna go with Lou Ross.
Lou Ross.
Yeah. I'll go with Lou Ross.
Oh, man.
Doing I Am Judas.
Oh my goodness.
That would be amazing.
You can go with maybe Ace of Base or like Salt and Pepper. No. That's a fantastic question. I don't really know personally. That's tough because you wanna answer the question, with a good artist, but at the same time you don't want to pick an artist that's just so epic that,
Right.
it wouldn't feel right for them to cover your music.
Well, I think there should be a whole cover album of the whole EP with
Okay.
5
All right.
different artists.
I would love to hear Ryan Adams cover "If I Saved You."
Okay,
Yeah, that would be good.
that would be good. That would be good.
I think that'd be fitting for him somehow, because it's an acoustic guitar.
I think to hear Tom York cover any song that we ever played, I could die happy if that ever happened. Which
And
never
I don't see that not happening.
I probably would want. I have no idea which song, but I'd probably want Animal Collective to cover something because they throw such a great twist into it.
Oh yeah, it would be a completely different song.
It would be, and that's what would be cool about it, Because otherwise, if the cover is too similar to the original, then for me at least, it loses its potency as a piece of art. I don't know.
Right. One more from Secrets X Don't X Make. Asks, how do you like your sandwiches, toasted or untoasted?
Oh, toasted.
Toasted. All the way toasted.
Yeah.
So,
So, wait, do you guys have Quiznos down there?
We do.
yes.
Are you
Yes.
into Quiznos?
Mm-hmm.
I've never really been a huge Quiznos fan.
Here's the thing. The same way that we need to go to Canada, you need to come down here to Chicago for the food.
Yes.
Because while we have
True.
Quiznos, I wouldn't quite say that it gives a true toasted sandwich any justice.
Andrew,
Absolutely.
if you come to Chicago, dinner on us, man.
For real.
Okay, poutine on me if you come up here.
Okay.
There's some amazing poutineries, which is the technical term for a poutine house. So, if your fans want to find you, where's the best place to go?
That'll be facebook.com/Vertigo Wales or myspace.com/Vertigo Wales.
And how can they find your music if they want to grab it?
iTunes or MySpace, just listen, and then Amazon. It's also for sale on Amazon.
Just type in the iTunes address or Amazon address in the search box. Just type in Vertigo Wales. It should pop right up.
and thank you to whoever made those Vertigo Wales videos on YouTube.
Yeah, thank you. Whoever
for
did
sure.
that, thank you so much for doing that.
That's very cool,
It's
yeah.
a big help.
There's a lot of fan-made Vertigo Wales music videos and videos featuring your songs, so
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we have fun.
Keep
we
them
have
coming,
fun
yeah.
looking at those. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like, did you see that?
It's
Did you
good
see
feedback, you know?
Totally.
that? Yeah, it's cool.
all right, thank you guys so much for joining me. I wish you guys all the best, and I can't wait to hear more of that new recording.
Thanks, Andrew.
All the best to you, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Say